These are the top 3 exercises to help senior golfers turn through the ball.
Okay, Nat, so what are the top 3 exercises to help seniors turn through the ball? I teach so many senior golfers, and this is definitely a limiting factor on getting distance, really.
Yeah, so we've got 3 exercises that I've selected for this specifically. And the key things that senior golfers struggle with is the fact that they're getting older. So as we get older, typically we lose rotation, particularly through the spine and through the rib cage and through the hips, which then causes them to struggle to sort of complete their downswing. So 3 exercises I've chosen here. We've got standing stalk turns. Real simple one that you can do on the first tee, you can do it at home. Then we're going to come down to the floor into a kneeling position and do a half kneeling turn to get the rib cage moving. And then we're going to create a similar movement as well, which is a half kneeling thoracic opening to just incorporate the chest and shoulder as well.
I'm not looking forward to these guys. I think I'm going to struggle myself. So it's worth saying, I know we kind of wanted to say this and you wanted to say this, these are just generic exercises. If you want actual advice, basically go to Nat direct. All her information is down below, so do make sure you go and check that out, because these are just things that people have got to be careful with, but do go and try them.
Of course, I mean, everyone's got individual circumstances. You know, people may have prior injuries or sort of genetic things that are kind of going to inhibit their movement naturally. So these are sort of generic movements that every golfer should be able to have a go at and still feel the benefit of.
Okay, so, and this is something that I think a lot of golfers miss out. They're so bothered about, okay, I can't make that move on the golf course, I can't make that move on the driving range. And I have people that come to me like this, but actually, they might not actually physically be able to make the move. Yeah,
I think that's the key thing, is that, you know, guys will come to you for a lesson, you're asking them to put their body in certain positions, but actually don't have the physical capabilities at this point in time to be able to make those movements. And that's my job, is to help them get better at those movements, which makes your job a lot easier.
Hopefully. Right, okay, so let's get into the first exercise. What do I need to do? Okay,
so we're going to just use a golf club because we're golfers. It keeps it simple. So this is a real easy one that you can do on the first tee if you want a quick 2-second warm-up. So this is called standing stalk turns. The aim is to open up both hip joints, so we have to move externally and internally as a golfer to create a backswing and a downswing motion. So real simple, you've got whatever club you want to lean on, probably an iron, so you're not going to break the shaft for driving ideally. So we're going to cross as best you can into 90 degrees, so I'm going to try and put my foot across my knee here. Now this is quite a tricky position for a lot of people.
I'm worried about this right now.
Right? If you're going to struggle to get the knee here, we're just going to bring it down a little bit lower. So it is a case of making it look simple.
So we're more bothered about hips rather than actually getting this leg up, potentially?
We're not so bothered about the knee. I mean, this 90-degree position, it opens this side of the hip joint naturally, but I want to use this to create a bit of rotation, a bit of momentum. So I'm going to lean on my club and I'm going to sort of pull my knee back, rotate this hip away from me, and this brings this hip internally at the same time. So for most golfers, you can try about 15 to 20 reps of this. Both sides, you're going to then cross over to the opposite side. So I'm going to pull this knee back here, be up tall. I'm just going to rotate across and open that.
So what I'm thinking right now, if this is really tight in someone's golf swing, this is going to stop them turning through. So this is basically open that joint up.
If you think about the position of the hips here, so if I'm sort of coming into my backswing this way, I've got to load this right hip. And as I come into the downswing this way, I've got to have the ability to load into that lead hip as well. So if I'm missing a bit of rotation, as in like I can't really get around here, then obviously that movement coming into the ball isn't going to be there in the golf swing either. So this is an exercise.
Right, I'm going to give it a go. I'm a little bit nervous about this. These are, oh my God, I'm getting the leg up here, everybody. So I'm going to go.
That's it. So we're thinking about
this way.
The right pocket to the right and the left pocket to the right.
Like that for me feels seriously tight.
Yeah, I mean this is a position that we don't get ourselves into every day. If you think about the amount of time that you'll spend sitting, particularly if someone sit at a desk, you do a lot of driving in the car. You know, the hips are in this position all the time, so they're never actually getting a lot of rotation.
If I actually think about my golf swing, like in general, like I really struggle and I have to flare my left foot to actually get through the ball. So this could be, I could do that to try and, because this is inhibited here potentially.
And there's nothing wrong with that. Like flaring the toes is a nice easy cheat for a lot of golfers.
It's a great cheat, everybody.
Automatically opens the hip joints. So if you do have someone that struggles with these movements in the golf swing, there's nothing wrong with that at all. But this exercise is just a nice way to sort of bring some better movement and help them, sort of teach them how to rotate the hips a little bit better as well.
Okay, so number 2. So if we're saying, I actually think like a lot of people, if they did this, if you said to people right now, if they're watching this, do this once, twice a week at home, they're going to see some big differences, aren't they?
Yeah, I mean, something like that is 10 seconds worth of work on each side. You know, you could do this once or twice a day quite comfortably. My biggest tip for a lot of my golfers is that when they come down in the morning, they put the kettle on, they've got their biggest bang for their buck exercise. So if I gave this to you, because hip mobility is the one thing you really struggle with, every time you put the kettle on, you can do both sides, and by the time it's boiled, you should be done.
Okay,
easy.
Perfect. Okay, number 2 for us.
Yeah, so number 2, this is called half kneeling thoracic turns. So this involves getting down on the floor.
Okay.
So we're going to come into a split position.
So am I putting, if I'm a right-handed golfer, am I putting my left leg up first?
Ideally we do both sides.
Okay, so it doesn't really matter
where you start.
Okay.
So the key thing to this is as well is just to have an awareness of a bit of stability. So you're using the front leg here to prevent any collapse and loss of balance, because what we're trying to do is separate the upper body away from the lower. Because that's another reason why a lot of senior golfers struggle to get through the ball, is a lack of dissociation or separation. Yeah. So from here, I want to make sure I've got my hips forwards and my chest forwards. I'm going to put my fingertips on my temple and pull my elbows back, so I'm sort of lengthening. This feels
hard as hell.
And then from here, you're going to turn as far as you can away from your leg. You can look over your shoulder if you want to, and then you're going to come back to the middle.
How fast should I be doing this, by the way?
You want to just go at a nice smooth pace. We're not looking to sort of, you know, pull any bones out their sockets.
Okay. But just like kind of a gradual...
smooth rotation. So if you think about the rib cage being a bit of a barrel, I'm trying to sort of pull all the way around like this as far as I can. So you're stretching the musculature, you're moving the spine and the rib cage as one.
And then the same this way as well.
Sides. And then this essentially, if you think about that, is your downswing motion.
I actually think, for me right now, I'm going to get a lot of benefit from doing this both sides, for one, because I just know my own swing and I struggle with a lot of these things. And for senior golfers, I think this is going to be class.
It's golden, because if you think about a lot of the golfers that you teach, you know, maybe a lot of them will move really well backswing and really poor downswing, and you can feel it. You know, even for me, like, I'm quite a good mover overall, but I always find the left side a little bit trickier.
From your point of view, is that because it's done at speed?
A little bit. I mean, if you think about your body, your golf swing essentially is sort of built on your physical limitations. You will swing around what you can't do, essentially. So for most people, backswing tends to be a bit more tempo based. You don't lash into the backswing typically, whereas you do lash into a downswing because you're trying to hit the ball. So yeah, you are right. Essentially, people will miss an element of rotation because they're moving faster.
I'm too bothered about maybe the ball and actually hitting the ball.
And if you think from a body perspective as well, in order to create speed, you have to have the ability to rotate. So if there's an element of rotation missing, typically you don't get it.
Yeah. So guys, if you are enjoying this content right now and everything me and Nat are talking about, well, basically Nat telling you guys what you should be doing to help you turn through the golf ball, please do make sure you hit that big thumbs up button and join the team by hitting this big red subscribe button. Let's get stuck into the final exercise. Now this is a key one. So now, what is the final one? So
third exercise, again, this involves being down on the floor. So this one's called half kneeling thoracic.
Okay, so I'm down like this again.
Yes, we're going to do exactly the same position.
We'll go this way.
Typically, I always start with my left foot forward because I'm a right-handed golfer. So it's just natural for me to kind of go to the backswing side first. And I think it's good for the golfers just to get into that habit, backswing, downswing, and they can associate the difference between the two. So this time we're going to add a shoulder and a chest movement in a little bit more. So we're going to go hands together here. So if I've got left foot knee forwards, my left hand stays forwards.
Okay.
All I'm going to do is try and keep this right arm as straight as I can, and I'm going to open up, rotate as far behind me as possible like this. Again, watching my eye line to follow my fingers.
Now I feel like I have to really concentrate to keep that still.
So this brings an element of stability in again. So we don't want to be dropping the knee in here, because if you did that in the golf swing, we'd have those Elvis knees where you sort of collapsing inwards. So having that awareness of squeezing the quads, pressing the foot into the floor gives you a bit of stability.
I don't think I do that enough.
You'll find that your rotation will massively improve the more stable you get. So you have to have a good base to work along. And this is a good one for the seniors to try as well, because you can see how far you're getting. If someone's only getting to here, then we know that they're missing another 10, 15, 20 degrees worth of turn.
And would you say just take your time with it, don't push to get that far?
Yeah.
Just do it as a progression over several days?
Yeah, I think that's the key thing with all these exercises, to do it at your own pace and your own ability level. You know, everyone's going to be different. So some people are going to be good at others aren't. And the key thing is not to hurt yourself. And remember that these are relatively generic. They're not designed specifically for you. So just take your time, and you'll see, you know, with practice, you may start over here, but over time you might get to this position, this sort of lengthened 180
That's
position, which we're looking to
massive benefits, isn't it?
Yeah, and if you think about the position of a backswing particularly, a lot of senior golfers will struggle to sort of get this arm straight and
lift the arms. And
they're lifting, they're coming out of posture, they're coming back over the top as a result of it. So opening up the rib cage, opening the shoulder joint and the chest to go with it will only benefit them.
And then are we doing this again on...
Yeah, we would change sides again. So we'd flip the knees around, we go hands up at the front, and then we're going to open out essentially again what is the downswing position. And again, real emphasis on creating some stability out of the lower body, squeezing the quad, squeezing the glute, pressing the foot into the floor. I think that's just a good lesson for all golfers.
Yeah, I don't do that enough. I know that straight away I was like, blooming heck, we've got to focus on almost putting my heel into the ground.
One thing I use with all my players is that if I'm going to come and rugby tackle you, I shouldn't be able to knock you over.
I say the same in the golf thing. Like someone stood to the golf ball, we don't want to look like I could push you over straight away. You've got to look athletic.
You want to be athletic, you know, you're here to hit the ball. Like golf is a power game essentially. I think as a senior as well, no matter what level you play at, if you can gain 10 or 15 yards, all of a sudden you can carry a bunker. You're near a par 5 and 2, you're not having to hit a par 4 in 3. It's a big difference to your handicap and to the scores that you can shoot, really.
And how many reps should we advise the guys to do this?
Normally I say 10 of these, 10 reps each side, same as this one, 10 reps each side. 15 to 20 of the first one, so just keep it simple. We're not looking to run marathons, it's not an endurance test, you don't need to be doing 40 reps, it's quality not quantity at this point in time.
And do you know what, like, I might be out of place saying this, but if you've got a mirror at home, is it good to kind of do it in front of that?
So mirrors always help. Mirrors to the side of you so you can see your posture, you might want to do it that, and then you might want to just change around so you can see the opposite side as well. Mirrors definitely help, you can watch your own technique, because a lot of the time you won't know what you're doing. If you have got a phone and someone can film you quickly, you can have a little look back on it and have a look. So, you know, we don't want to be anywhere near sloppy technique. Everything that you do has to be quite neat and tidy.
Perfect. There you go, guys. I'm going to have to stand up there. My knees are going myself. So there you go. They're the top 3 exercises from Nat from ProFit Golf that are going to help you turn through the golf ball. We've got a series going out every other week here that are going to help you get fit for golf.